January was particularly busy as we were trying to finish Gladys, our 1967 Bailey Maestro, so she could go to Ferry's NEC show. Bill was unimpressed by our lack of progress, but we had a box of bits arrive from Wales and Charlie made a tank in his bedroom whilst I plumbed in the hot water. When Helen popped out, I gave the hubcaps a good clean in the dishwasher, but Bill was still not amused, even though they had a fresh coat of paint. I towed Gladys to a borrowed workshop and spent the weekend with a brush, roller and a few tins of coach enamel. The Caravan Times team came down to film our progress.
Charlie?
Oh, it's hot.
What are we doing now?
Filming.
And Simon wondered why the heater was free floating and not where it should be. January is the perfect month for spending time in the woods, so we went paintballing, where I discovered that a 15-year-old girl with a paintball gun is a very scary thing indeed. After a hot bath, Helen and I took part in a focus group at the Bailey factory aimed at creating the Bailey Pursuit successor, the new Phoenix. Somehow, Charlie and I managed to finish Gladys and she was taken to the NEC. She then spent the weekend on the Bailey stand. Charlie played with the 1960s props before we found a stand selling sausages and Helen struggled to get out of a chair.
No, he's filming it. He's filming it.
I think...
I can't get out. No. Let me do it myself. Get off.
Oh, can you pass my drink?
Please stop filming it. I'm not doing it while he's filming.
Can you pass my drink?
I'm not getting out because I can't get out. Stop filming.
Yeah, if anyone's free in Hall 4,
Too hot.
can you give us a hand? We're just by Parkdean.
The snow in March halted progress for a bit, but once melted, we took the caravan to London and had a look round the Imperial War Museum. A great deal of March was spent on final preparations for the biggie in April, the Bailey of Bristol Bristan Ball Trip. Now, I'm no stranger to Skoda's Octavia Scout. We tested it at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Tow Car of the Year. But we spent 5,000 miles driving through 21 countries towing a Bailey Pursuit. 3 soldiers from my small village in Dorset perished at Gallipoli in the First World War. So I took a wreath from our village war memorial to the Hellas Memorial at Gallipoli. Unlike the poor souls who lost their lives, our journey continued. Marcus made sure we didn't go hungry, and Simon and I celebrated our arrival in Asia with a spot of male grooming, Turkish style. Squeezing through the traffic at border crossings was tricky.
Lee, you gotta look at this, mate. This has got everything you wanted for a 20-second clip.
Jeez, who drive down there, eh?
But getting our passport stamped at some destinations was proving to be even trickier. We passed the time in various ways until we were finally waved through.
Can't fake it, no, we'll never make it. Hello. Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you, but it's still right to smile. You're thinking about...
Taking a wrong turn in Istanbul did little to help our progress.
No.
Ali just sent one. It's got the coordinates and a Google Map link directly to him, so they're 2 kilometres away, and it's going to take approximately 26 minutes for us to get from here to there.
Thank you. Hey, did you say 26 minutes?
According to the link that you clicked, yeah, when it tallied up the time.
Alan and Ali had a long wait until they could finally take a photo of us crossing the Galata Bridge. We visited the lovely folks at Skoda in Prague and marvelled at the motorcycles they used to make. We changed wheels in the dead of night, wore rubber-soled shoes when plugging the caravans into the mains, dried our undercrackers on improvised washing lines. We were captivated by the jaw-dropping scenery, took Scooby-Doo and his gang to far-flung places, performed a 2-minute lay-by clean in Greece, taught Bill how to empty the loo, visited a Turkish quick fit, and stayed at stunning sites such as Camping Rhino, Vampire Camping, and, well, that one. Once home, Charlie and I searched for our caravanning toy box and we went magnet fishing, where we tried to find the skateboard I lost in 1984.
Yeah, so magnet fishing today. In this spot, in 1984, summer of 1984, I dropped my skateboard in there. No luck.
Oh, I thought it said 1884.
What do you mean 1884?
I had a few jobs to finish on Gladys.
How old school is that?
But she was finally finished, so our first journey was spent following our family's Second World War footsteps. We cooked recipes from the 1940s.
Thanks to Mike on Twitter, we're trying some 1940s style food to go with our 1940s themed Family History Week.
Charlie was given some earplugs after he told a lady on site that my snoring had woken him up. And we found the pub in Kent that my dad used to frequent way back in World War II. We also found the airfield where Charlie's great-grandfather Geoffrey was based in the Glider Regiment. With D-Day taking Geoffrey to Normandy, our journey, courtesy of Brittany Ferries, was very different to the one he would have had to endure 74 years ago.
Charlie,
Yeah.
Should
Bunk
we sit?
beds.
should we see what's up there?
Bunk beds. Bunk beds. I'm hoping they're bunk beds.
Okay.
I'm getting ready, run.
There you go.
Other way. Other way. Other way. Other way.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Shut up. Oh, you had to eat.
The sacrifices made gave us the freedom to explore this region of France, and a few days spent in the pool, in local restaurants, and on local beaches.
How many shells?
Too many. There's more out there as well.
Made us both think how different things were. We found the spot where Geoffrey came ashore.
So Charlie and I went on the Portsmouth to Carn ferry last night. We've actually arrived at Juno Beach, which you can see behind me. You can probably see Charlie behind me as well. Hey, there he is.
Digging.
Digging. This is where Charlie's great-grandfather landed at Juno, 9:15 on D-Day. So we're starting to follow his French side of the journey, and from here they had to make it off the beach, and their rendezvous point was about a mile inland. So next we're hoping to find that.
As well as the strategic location that he was sent to defend. However, the biggest surprise came when we visited Pegasus Bridge Museum, and we found him staring back at us from a photo. June was spent taking Poppy to prom, taking the caravan to London again to watch the Foo Fighters, and staying in Weymouth, where we took part in the Weymouth Veterans Parade. The hot summer meant we tried wild swimming for the first time, and I taught Poppy how to make the switch from a twist and go pit bike to a motorbike with clutch and gears. The school summer holidays are usually busy, and after Charlie and I talked caravans on BBC Radio Solent, we hitched up the Bailey Phoenix and headed to France, Germany, Belgium and Holland. The hot summer was even hotter in France, but we continued our World War II theme, went kayaking, crossed the River Rhine on the same ferry that we used during the Bristol trip, visited castles. Charlie had a wash.
Good pass from Bolton.
He's a lunatic, isn't he?
Good pass from Bolton.
Yeah.
How hard is it raining?
It's just an attention seeker.
And then he wondered what would happen if he dropped this salami into the local swimming pool. Poppy researched the drinking laws in Belgium and ordered herself a small beer before we made our way back to the UK. We boarded another ferry, this time to the Isle of Wight. We pitched the Phoenix next to a steam railway, and after a ride into Ryde on my old motorbike, we enjoyed an oldie worldy fairground. Bill went on a steam train for the first time. We watched a man escape from a straitjacket in a beer tent. Showed the kids what proper music was. Where they learnt some new words. The Phoenix made its way to a country fair that had ancient vehicles and yet more good music. We then spent the weekend in Gladys at the Bailey Owners Club rally. We went all week at the knees over a 1950s Bailey and did get more dancing. And Simon even managed to scoop an award. September also saw the launch of the new 8-foot wide Pegasus, and for some unknown reason I thought it'd be a good idea to see if I could fit into the new storage compartment.
You know when it seemed like a good idea at the time?
We also painted rocks, and we went back to the 1980s thanks to a roller disco. We visited Cornwall during October for the Caravan and Motorhome Club magazine. The unusually warm weather meant we visited various beaches, tried a new awning from Prima Leisure. Charlie ate more mussels with sweets for dessert, and then we carved pumpkins. There was a karting track nearby where Charlie demonstrated the principle of power to weight ratios. We visited St Ives for a ghost walk, which told tales of Cornwall's plague-ridden past. The Phoenix then made its way to the NEC show, where Andrew Ditton and I talked caravans on BBC local radio. I spent the day with the Freedom to Go team, and Simon and I discussed the Bristol trip in the Discovery Theatre. October didn't finish there, as Poppy and I entered an obstacle course race. Now, Poppy may look cold in this photo, but she stayed relatively dry during the run as she made it across the river unscathed. Sadly, I didn't. BBC Radio Solent wanted to discuss yet more caravanning in November, and December saw us getting energetic again thanks to a Santa run. Not wishing to be outdone by his big sister, the last day of 2018 was spent teaching Charlie how to ride a bike with clutch and gears.
Here's to a cracking 2019.